Welcome, everybody, to the MLB Home Run Betting Challenge, or as I like to call it, the Dong Report, where I give out my favorite MLB home run bets for the day. And folks, we are squarely in the middle of a hot streak. I had a rough 7 or 8 day stretch for the past week, but we have been profitable for the past 2 days. And yesterday alone, I was up about 5.6 units. So finally was able to get myself in the green. That brings it to 2 profitable days in a row. I gave out 8 picks on this YouTube channel. I got 2 of those picks to cash. 5 of them lost, and then we had one guy not play, which we got refunded. So that brought us to the profit of, as I mentioned, 5.6 units. That brings our total profit on this Dong report to 31.6 units. So squarely in the green here. It's been incredible success that we are having. As for today, I got another 8 plays for you guys. But before we get into it, I would appreciate it while you're here if you could like the video. Helps me out a ton as this gets to more people so we can all start cashing together. Comment on the video. Let me know what you think of my picks. And if you have somebody that I didn't pick that you like, let me know as well. And then, of course, subscribe to my YouTube channel. That also helps me out a ton. And then lastly, before we get into the picks, I do have a membership option. So if you want to become a Jedi in training for my YouTube channel, I have 2 different types. I have a $1 a month one. I have a $5 a month one. So if you're interested, it's the very first link in the description of the video, as well as the pinned comment. But enough jibber jabber. Let's get into these picks. As I mentioned, I will have 8 for you guys today. First up, in the Phillies versus Diamondbacks game, we are taking Trey Turner to hit a home run. That is at plus 600 odds at FanDuel. So I'm just going to give you a heads up. The system that I use for these home runs, for whatever reason, loves this Phillies game. There are 4 players in this game alone. All 4 of them are on the Phillies. Now, I am a Phillies fan. I'm not going to pretend that I'm not, but I can promise you this is not me being a homer. These are all picked from the same system. For whatever reason, they just love the Phillies today. And the Phillies have scored a ton of runs in this series against the Diamondbacks so far. So if we had just bet Phillies, it wouldn't have been terrible. So let's hope they can keep that up today. First up, we're going with Trey Turner. Now, we have cashed with Trey Turner before, but that was back on June 5th, and that was the last game in which he hit a home run. Now, he just mashed 2 in that same game, but he has not gone yard since. And while that was the last time he hit a home run, he's been pretty hot from the plate. It's a far cry from the cold streak that Turner was on prior to that 2 home run day. He's got a hit in 5 of his last 6 games and 3 multi-hit games in that stretch as well. In terms of weather, it's not good, it's not bad, it's pretty average, so nothing really to glean from there. But there is a pretty good pitching matchup that the Phillies have. Ryan Nelson pitching for the Diamondbacks, and that guy is definitely a home run pitcher. So, as I mentioned, the Phillies have crushed the Diamondbacks in just terms of runs scored all series. Let's hope that keeps up with today's game. Next up, our second pick of the evening, we are going with Nick Castellanos to hit a home run at plus 450 odds at FanDuel. Same game, obviously, Phillies versus Diamondbacks. And it's kind of funny to think that Nick Castellanos, after how bad he was last year, has been the Phillies' best and most consistent hitter this entire season. It's just crazy to think that. On the year, he's batting .315, and he's been raking recently as well. Now, albeit not quite in the Dong department, so he hasn't hit a ton of home runs recently. He has 1 in his last 10 games. But in general, he's got a hit in 8 of his last 10 games, and he's got multiple hits in 5 of those 8 games. So he's been hot at the plate. He's been raking in a lot of doubles for Castellanos, so hopefully he can get one to go a little bit farther tonight and cash a Dong for us as our second pick. Third pick of this game of the evening, we are going with Bryce Harper to hit a home run at plus 400 odds at FanDuel. So Harper, as I'm sure you guys know, missed the beginning of the season recovering from Tommy John surgery. He's been pretty good since he came back. admittedly, he hasn't found his power yet. So all three of these players so far are not hot in the dong department. I will admit that. So there is some risk here with Bryce Harper. He's got 3 home runs so far this year, and he last hit one on May 25th, which was my birthday. No big deal. So it's been a while since Harper hit a home run, but again, as I mentioned, it's not as though he's been horrible at the plate. He's batting .290 on the year, and that includes an 0 of 4 day that he had yesterday. Prior to that, because he has such a small sample size due to not playing a ton, his batting average was at .299. So he's been playing well, he's been hitting, just hasn't quite found the power yet. As you understand, he comes back from an injury, working to get his strength back, but he has been playing well, so I will trust Harper to cash one for us tonight. Next up, our last pick in this Phillies versus Diamondbacks game, we are taking Kyle Schwarber to hit a home run. That is at plus 285 odds at FanDuel. Now, Kyle Schwarber, I'm sure everybody watching this knows this as well. He just owns June. In his last 10 games alone, he's got 5 home runs, and he last hit one just 2 days ago on June 13th. While his batting average still isn't there, he's hitting just as poorly from an average perspective in June as he has been previously. The power has certainly come back. He's got 18 home runs on the year, and as I mentioned, 5 of those came in the last 10 games. And since June 4th, Schwarber has hit a home run in every other game except for a 3-game stretch in which he didn't, from June 10th to June 12th, and then he immediately hit one on June 13th. So Schwarber didn't go yard yesterday. If he keeps up with that every other day streak, he'll hit one for us tonight, cashing our plus 285 odds play. And that rounds out the Phillies versus Diamondbacks picks. I'm sorry, I don't know why the page loved the Phillies so much, but I'm going to trust the data there. Next up in the Blue Jays versus Orioles game, we are taking Matt Chapman to hit a home run plus 400 odds at FanDuel. Now I'm going to have 2 picks in this game as well, 1 player on each team, starting out with Matt Chapman, obviously of the Blue Jays. Now this is a pretty good weather game. It's not the best. We'll get into that. My last 2 picks will be in the best weather games, but this is still a positive home run weather script. Now for Chapman, we did go with him 2 days ago to unfortunately no luck. And the pitching matchup looks a little bit scary with Tyler Wells on the mound for the Orioles. He's a good pitcher, but he is a little bit prone to giving up the long ball. So it's not as though he just isn't giving up home runs at all. He's given up 14 on the year in 75 innings pitched. So not bad from a hitter's perspective in terms of hitters you want to target for whoever's pitching. Chapman himself last hit a home run on June 11th. He's got 9 on the year. Let's make that double digits after tonight. Next up, obviously, as I mentioned in the same game, Blue Jays versus Orioles, we're taking Anthony Santander to hit a home run plus 420 odds at FanDuel. So Santander also has 9 home runs on the year, but he is admittedly in a dong slump. That's something that's kind of interesting about today's picks. Sometimes I pick players who are hot. Sometimes I pick players who are in a slump. Today seems to be more heavily players in a slump, but that's fine because home runs, it's obviously a fickle stat. Now, similar to Bryce Harper, Santander has not hit a home run in his last 10 games. He last hit one on May 31st. And as for the pitching matchup, the Blue Jays have Yusui Kikuchi on the mound. Now, he's got good stuff. He's just a little bit inconsistent, and he's definitely a pitcher that you want to target to give up home runs. He's given up 18 on the year, and that's only in 66 and a third innings pitched. So huge home run guy. I think we have a great chance to get one for Santander tonight, rounding out that pick. And then we have 2 left. Both of them are in the same game. Both of them are in the Dodgers versus White Sox game, and they're both players on the Dodgers. First up, we are taking JD Martinez to hit a home run. That is at plus 475 odds, and this one is at PointsBet. Now, this is the juiciest weather game of the day. Very conducive for home runs to be hit. So obviously I had to have some Dodgers players. We'll start with Martinez, who was on an absolute dong tear just a couple days ago, about 10 days ago actually at this point. That has slowed down a little bit. Recently, he's not quite as hot as he was about 10 days ago. He's got 16 home runs on the year, and he's got 3 in his last 10, but he's only got 1 since June 7th. But considering the pitching matchup and the weather that we have today, I love for JD Martinez to get one. Next up, last play of the evening, again in the Dodgers game, we are taking Freddie Freeman to hit a home run plus 520 odds at FanDuel. So another Dodger this time with Freddie Freeman. Now, I mentioned the pitching matchup for JD Martinez. So the White Sox are pitching Dylan Cease on the mound, who's not nearly as scary as he was last year. Last year, he was incredible. He had a 2.2 ERA and a home run per 9 innings stat of just 0.78. So he only gave up 0.78 home runs per inning pitched. That's pretty good. This year, his ERA is up to 4.38, and he's given up 9 home runs so far on the year with a home run per 9 inning stat of 1.09. So per inning pitched, he's giving up a little bit over 1 home run. That is much better, much better for us, I should say, much worse as a pitcher than he was last year. So Freddie Freeman, I love for him to get one tonight. And that's all I got for you guys. 8 picks, 8 players who are absolutely going to hit a home run on today's MLB betting slate. Again, as I mentioned, if you are tailing, comment and let me know. If there's a player that you like that I do not have, comment and let me know as well. Other than that, remember to like the video, subscribe to my YouTube channel, check out the membership options if you're interested. Thanks for watching and have a good one.